This is October 4th, 1:46 a.m. It's a Wednesday. I'm reviewing the Amazon for today. And when I was here looking at this chart, looking at a 1 minute chart, there wasn't really any clues to the reason why uh, this level uh, came about. Because when I look in here, this is the open. This is the opening. This is the previous day's close, so it's bearish at this point. It gapped down. There's a gap down here, which means that it was bearish. And then this is so this is the previous day's low, and then it just breached it like there was nothing. Because if it is previous day's low, obviously there's got to be some sort of respectability based on that. So this is the previous day's low, which is essentially the open period, and so it looked like it was essentially being respected based on here, right? But it blew right back past it. So when I look at here, so essentially the VWAP was a downtrend all day, essentially all day. Really, there was no signature. There wasn't much of a signature that defined whether the stock was going to keep going up. It would go up, it would go down, it would go up a little bit, but it was basically within an intraday there's essentially wow that's so wow this is very difficult to trade really. Um, it just essentially gapped down, brought it here, brought it back. So if I were to have traded here, perhaps the focal point could have been maybe if I had any opportunity, maybe right here, maybe right there. Thinking that maybe I would have made that trade. Maybe I would have made a trade from here to here. When it bounced back, and if it failed, then I would have probably like bought a put here because based on the fact that it is a lower high, that's one trade, and that would essentially just carry it all the way through because it blew through this resistance here. It just blew right past with this huge candle. Then came back down and went a little bit, but it never reached the previous day's low, and then it started to keep going down and down and down. So even though it recovered a little bit, it made a little top, and started going down. So essentially the trade could have been just essentially one, and the fact that this essentially broke through the previous day's low, this is looking into, if I were to look for the 5 day, 5 minute candle, essentially this level is essentially these levels based on 1 week. This is where it landed based on this week here. So what does that mean? That means that people who bought here got up like that, went up, and then um, so essentially, when I look at this, there could have been maybe just one trade here, and if I saw this, maybe a small trade here, I suppose, maybe based on this double top, maybe a double top formation. So essentially, there could have been maybe two trades, and the support has to go all the way back. As soon as it breached this, it means that I need to look back and see where the other support is. And this support is based on a 1 week formation of levels based on Amazon's chart formation. So when I look at this, I would say could have been maybe one or two trades. I don't think I would have been able to make this trade here, even though it gapped down. I'm thinking, okay, if it gaps down, I should just enter and see what happens, right? But it immediately went up and it started to come back down. I suppose when something gaps down, there's a high probability that it's going to keep going down. But there are situations where it gaps down and starts going back up, just like Apple did. As soon as it gaps down, it'll start going up. And so shorting here could be a detriment. I have to see first. And then when it pulls back a little bit and it starts to come back, then that would be an entry point here. And from here, if I were to have gotten in here, that would be 127.45. I would say either I got out here or here. So that's about a $2 move here. That's about a $1.50 move right here. So that would have been one more move. And if I were to have gotten out here, then I would have gotten here. Maybe there could have been maybe 2 trades based on this formation here. Top, top. It's exhibiting somehow. There's an intraday. There is an intraday. Essentially, that is an intraday. That essentially is an intraday. Um, that is an intraday resistance right there. That is a resistance pop, pop, based on some sort of formation that occurred in previously, but that is claiming such a thing. So that's one. And then here, looking at it here, entering on this point here, making a few bucks based on that. So based on the formation of Amazon essentially just being bearish all day today, with the VWAP exhibiting that characteristics. It's not even, it's actually underneath the VWAP, and therefore it's not respecting the VWAP, or the previous day's low, or um, the previous day's, what is that? It's the open, right? That's the open. Yeah, I think that's the open right there. So it must have opened here, somewhere around here. This should be the open, I think. Yeah, it should be the open. Right? That's the previous day's close. This is the open. Yeah, yeah. Day open. Open. Daily open. Yep.